I have been informed that my announcement has been deemed disrespectful.
Listen up, Dwayne, you bald fraud!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the greatest of all time!
Seth Rollins, I'm coming for you, boy. And I'm coming hard.
I am a visionary! I am a revolutionary!
The never seen 17!
Look at you now, boy! Ah. Look at you now! 4 letters, 1 word.
Last real champion, John Cena!
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Rasslin with Ryan and Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Doing pretty good. You know what? It's been a few weeks since we recorded. No, just a couple weeks. Not too much. But last week, we recorded an interview with Allison Price of News 28 and News 22 out in Pennsylvania. And that's going to be released very, very soon. Ryan, how did you feel about that podcast last week?
Very interesting, just being able to collab with somebody, because I know we're trying to grow. So I feel like it's a step in the right direction in terms of having Lace 'em Up grow.
Exactly. Yep. But today we are talking all things Royal Rumble. There's a lot that has been going on in WWE. A lot in the world title picture, a lot in the WWE title picture. Even Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn. Ryan looks like he just woke up right now. Or he just took a bag of edibles. I'm not quite sure which one is which. Either way, there's a lot going on in the world of WWE.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, and then we're gonna give our Royal Rumble predictions.
Because it is fast approaching on Saturday.
Exactly, it's coming up. It starts
11 a.m.
Pacific
11
time.
a.m. for us.
Wow. Early start for the Royal Rumble, as it is in Saudi Arabia, as Peggy Hill would say, Saudi Arabia, if you guys know what I'm talking about from King of the Hill. Ryan, how you feeling about this upcoming Royal Rumble PLE?
I mean, it hasn't had much build and hype like we're used to.
Yeah.
Outside of like the last maybe week or two.
Yeah.
But I feel like it does have potential to be a great show, especially because it is in Saudi, and WWE tends to step up when they're international.
Right.
So and I know Saudi gets shows, like a couple shows a year, but WWE still puts on good quality shows when they go international. So I feel like this Rumble has potential to be to be one of their better shows.
Right. And the reason why WWE hasn't really promoted this Royal Rumble as heavily as they normally would have is because it's in Saudi Arabia and they've already got the bag for it, baby. They've already gotten paid. So they don't need to sell out seats. They don't need to market it. They don't need to sell for pay-per-view buys. Back in the day, in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, they needed to sell those pay-per-view. They needed to have people buy from directly their cable provider. My God, Ryan, you look like you are just going to fall asleep. Wake up, get some coffee in you.
I'm good.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But back when I was saying, back in the day, they needed to have people buy directly the pay-per-views from their cable provider. That's why you would have the free-for-all before the pay-per-view on the TV Guide channel. You have 5 minutes to buy the Royal Rumble. You have 5 minutes to buy WrestleMania before it goes live on the air.
Where now, when you have it in a country like Saudi Arabia, it's like they're already sold out simply because they have the money. They want the show there. In fact, they even built a stadium from the ground up, literally a month, and it's crazy to see how it went from there being nothing to a full-fledged stadium in a month.
That's insane to think about too. I mean, back in the day, that would have never been heard of. But also with the PLEs today, I mean, they don't need to necessarily convince you to buy the PLEs. They don't need you to convince you at all. The PLEs are already on ESPN. You're already subscribed to the channel, whatever streaming service they're gonna be on, whether it be on Netflix, Peacock, the Cock, uh, ESPN, HBO, whatever. You're already going to be, on that streaming service, so you don't need to necessarily buy unless it's AEW. So AEW has a different model going on with HBO Max. So still have to subscribe to HBO Max, but you have to again pay another fee. So people were very worried about that when WWE announced they were going to ESPN because they automatically assumed that you're going to have to pay an additional fee on top of your streaming service fee. But that hasn't been the case with this new ESPN app. And so WWE, man, they're getting the bag already. And so that explains for the lack of build. I wish I would have heard Linkin Park being played on WWE Raw a little bit more. Heavy is the crown. One of my, Linkin Park being my favorite band. But it's okay. Yes, it is okay. WWE, they're getting paid, and it's
Yeah,
already. But I have a theory about the way if a PLE or a pay per view, whatever you want to call it, isn't heavily promoted, and fans think, oh man, this is gonna be whack. I feel
it
like those
tends.
those
Yeah,
tend to be good.
yeah, and in fact, we've mentioned it in prior episodes before. Where we're like, oh yeah, the ones that get like very little hype are like the B level type PLEs always end up being like some of the better ones. And I know the Royal Rumble is one of the big four. It's the A, a show, but like yeah, just genuinely, there's been a trend of like the shows that they don't really advertise as much end up being some of like, the better shows of the entire year. So,
Right.
not to say that I have high hopes for the Royal Rumble, but I do believe the Royal Rumble has potential to be one of the better shows, especially because creatively WWE's been off to a much better start in 2026 compared to last year. So,
Yeah, 2026. I mean, the month of January has been really good for WWE.
yeah, I know we haven't had like too many shows, but you could already see the difference in creative. So that's why I feel like, this Royal Rumble has potential because, you have creative and there's we already know this is a given. This isn't like one of those like, oh, they say that. No, we're going to see surprises in the Royal Rumble. That's a given.
Right. You're going to.
So,
Well, I fear because Triple H always he has a pattern of saying, "Oh man, this is going to be there's going to be surprises. There's gonna blow the roof. Uh,
yeah,
in
but
that Triple H voice, this is gonna blow the roof off." And then look at
yeah.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, but the difference is this is the Royal Rumble where it's like you actually have the,
You,
you know,
you know what though? Like I
room for surprises.
would like to see 1 to 2 surprises, but that's it. I didn't like. I think they got a little too carried away with the entrance surprises back in like 2012, 2013. Like nobody needed to see the Godfather come out or the Hurricane, or nobody needed to see like any of these like mid-carders from like the 2000s come out.
Yeah, like what we want to see is like wrestlers who are coming back from injury who haven't been seen
Right,
in a while.
right.
Like for example, like a Bianca Belair because we haven't seen
Yeah,
her since WrestleMania.
yeah. I agree. I agree. You want to see people that are relevant.
Yeah, and then you have the potential. I know this is probably WWE's worst kept secret, um, but you have a Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
There's a
Chris
potential
Jericho,
because
I
I don't
mean,
know. I don't know if you saw WWE just recently filed for to trademark Judas.
okay. I mean,
So
that's very telling there. And whenever WWE trademarks things, it usually means that something's happening.
yeah, because it usually either with whether it's a return or future storyline or character. Like they just recently filed for the trademark career killer for Gunther.
Hmm. Yeah,
So them trademarking or filing to trademark Judas is a very, very telling sign that a certain Y2J might be making a surprise return.
yeah. Like I said, I think 1 to 2 surprises in the Rumble are suffice because you have a star-studded Rumble already, and you want to make room for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, and that's what I'll say. These last few years, they've had such a stacked roster that I feel like it's okay that we haven't had many surprises because like their roster is already super stacked, and you want to have the spotlight on them, especially because you have people who may not get a lot of TV time. It's like okay, the Royal Rumble is like a case where they can like really showcase who they are because you have some guys who like you rarely see like back then who are like, oh, they are in the Rumble for like 20-25 minutes. They get a couple eliminations. It's like, whoa, like I don't really see that guy that much. So yeah, the Royal Rumble has a potential to showcase guys that we may not get to see too much.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, we can hold off our spoilers or not spoilers, our predictions until later.
Not a prediction, that's a spoiler.
Yeah, just like Paul Heyman. But you mentioned AJ earlier. Do you want to get into AJ?
Yeah, so of course it's been heavily, well, not even heavily. It's been known that 2026 is the final year of AJ Styles because he has said it multiple times that 2026 is his last year as an active in-ring competitor. Um, and at the Royal Rumble, he is putting his career on the line against Gunther. So if he loses, he must retire. So there's a lot of speculation that AJ Styles
Yeah.
is done after Saturday. And I just saw another interesting thing today going back to trademarks. AJ Styles himself filed filed trademarks for AJ Styles the Phenomenal One and P1. Like what he uses
Yeah.
for his merch.
Yeah.
He filed trademarks for both of those. So that's a very another interesting update and development. The fact that he himself is filing to trademark both of them
Yeah.
under his real name, Alan Neil Jones. So,
I mean, look, we just had John Cena retire 1 month ago, a little over a month
mm,
ago. You know,
don't remind me. Don't
I'm
remind
not
me.
trying to rub salt in the
Yeah,
wound
but
here.
also before you continue not to interrupt. There's another thing I want to point out that I don't know if you caught it when he spoke on Raw. He says if I lose, then my WWE career is over. Notice he says WWE career.
Mm,
And guess who they're partnering with right now? They're partnering with TNA. And AJ Styles made a name for himself in TNA. So what if he retires from WWE, but then he does one last run in TNA before he really calls it a career?
I think that's certainly a possibility. I think AJ Styles and TNA would be great for this year. I think it would be a boost that TNA definitely needs.
Yeah, and when you think of TNA, who's one of the first names you think of? AJ Styles.
Of course, yeah. But I mean, we just saw the GOAT retire last month, and now for AJ Styles 1 month later to call it a career, I mean that would be ridiculous. I know
Yeah.
he didn't want a retirement tour per se, but come on, man, you got to give us at least till
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
But I don't know if you've been seeing the posts. I've been seeing a lot of these posts. Everyone's like, we've been secretly watching AJ Styles retirement tour because
Yeah,
look, he had that 5-star match with Cody Rhodes. He had a banger match with Finn Balor, Shinsuke, and the the last classic match with John Cena. So everybody's saying like maybe this has been AJ Styles' retirement tour all along, but he just didn't advertise it as such because he didn't want it to be known as that.
right. Very true. I mean, it's all yeah. I mean, we're seeing it play right before our eyes, right? I mean, the match with Punk was the dead giveaway that yeah, this guy could be most likely finished up
Yeah,
on Saturday.
yeah, and especially because it's like because he's been putting on like great matches, of course, as he does. He's the phenomenal one, and he has reiterated multiple times he wants to retire while he's still on top. He doesn't want the lasting image for the fans to be like, oh yeah, he's washed, like he's
Yeah.
past his prime. He doesn't want that, and he's at a point. It's where it's like he probably could go at a high level for another couple years. It's like you had said with John Cena. You thought he was washed. He proved you wrong, and you're like, you know what? No, he could go at a high level for like another year or two if he wanted to.
He could, and AJ Styles definitely is has the ability to do that. But I remember one thing he mentioned to John Cena. I think Cena may have talked about this, or it came out somewhere somehow before Cena retired. He was talking about AJ Styles, and him and Styles were talking, and Styles told Cena that, "Hey, look, it's not about what you see on TV. It's about the preparation. It's about the cool down. It's about getting right. You know, like injuries, healing up, like that behind the scene progress." Of which you don't see on TV for a wrestler to get ready for a match, and especially like a wrestler that's nearing 50 years old, like that could take a process to do. And AJ Styles feels like, you know what, like his body, he knows his body best more than anybody. Just because we see him at a level on TV doesn't mean that he's not hurting. He's not, somehow feeling that he's maybe, for lack of a better term, less than what he was in his prime. And so, yeah, I think AJ Styles knows his body the best, and if he feels this time is the right time to retire, then he's going to do that. From a fan's perspective, we don't want to see him retire.
Yeah, and it's another thing too that he's getting to retire when he wants to. It's not a forced retirement like we've seen many of those over the years. You know, like
Right.
oh they have to retire because of an injury. So it's like AJ Styles. He's lucky. He's at a point of his career where he can still retire on his own terms while he's still healthy. You know, while he's still able to go at a high level.
Right.
You could tell he's very content that if that I'll say if because we really don't know the outcome for the Royal Rumble, but if his career were to be over, you could see he's content with what he's done.
Right. Exactly. My prediction is that AJ Styles somehow wins. Somehow
I do think he wins too, especially because we know how these rivalries go. Someone wins the first one, and then you win the second one, and then you have the rubber match.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, because right now it's 1-0, and then you have the whole thing of like AJ Styles did make Gunther tap out, but the ref didn't see it, and they've been heavily emphasizing that over the last couple weeks. So that's why I feel like maybe AJ Styles does pull it off,
Right.
and then we do see him go and at least until WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah. And maybe it's not Gunther is not the one that retires him. Either way, I think, AJ Styles somehow ekes out a victory, whether it's Gunther getting himself disqualified or, Gunther maybe taps out or gets pinned. We'll see.
Gunther might tap out like a little.
Like John Cena did. But moving on from AJ Styles, if this is AJ Styles' final
What
match,
a
then
what a career!
yep,
Thank you, AJ Styles, and it's kind of fitting. Just one last thing, kind of fitting. He made his debut 10 years ago at the 2016 Royal Rumble for WWE, and now 10 years later, his career's on the line at the Royal Rumble. So it's kind of a full circle moment.
it is definitely. All right, but the world title pictures in WWE have been pretty, active
Pretty
lately.
hot, right? Yeah, especially on Raw. We've seen CM Punk, who proving week in and week out why he is the best in the world.
Yeah,
He's been defending his title quite a bit. I think this is the most we've seen the World Heavyweight Championship defended since Seth was champion the first time, not the last reign, but the first time. So it's nice to see that the World Championship is being featured prominently weekly on television. Um, and Punk's been putting on bangers
yeah,
pretty much since he's come back to WWE, but especially as World Heavyweight Champion. He put on a banger with Finn Balor last week, where like for a moment we all thought like, oh my God, Finn Balor's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. And then he was having a banger with AJ Styles until Finn came out and caused a no contest. Um,
hmm
who else has he defended? Well, regardless, Punk's been putting in the work as World Heavyweight
Punk defended
Champion.
it last Monday night against AJ.
Yeah, AJ, Finn.
Yeah. And so Punk's been very active defending the world title as of late. I want to say, kudos to CM Punk. I mean, when he came back to WWE, there's a lot of, I guess, people were very hesitant to think that he was going to be able to even stay in WWE because of his attitude, let alone his body holding up because his injuries from AEW.
Yeah, and then look, in his first match back in the company, which was the Royal Rumble, he tore his tricep.
Right. Yeah. And so that was a huge, huge ordeal for CM Punk to go through. And so for him to, for his body to hold up the way it has, it's been really, really remarkable. And CM Punk has been putting in, I mean, probably this is you can compare it to his first run in WWE, but I mean this past year I think has really showed the mark to, I mean, if not it's the same from his previous run in WWE
It
or
is
considered better.
it's very reminiscent of the 2011 Summer of Punk,
Right.
where
Yep.
he was consistently like on TV. He was consistently putting on great matches with
Right.
anybody and everybody. And this is what it feels like. And I would say his promo game is better now than it even was then.
I mean, it was a different kind of CM Punk. I always compare him to Eminem, right? Eminem, like in his early days, was angry and talking about his mom and all that.
Yeah, and then you have like, the more
Yeah.
like happy, like, hey, you know what? I'm satisfied. I'm content. The
Like AJ's husband, CM Punk.
age, yeah, yeah. That's what we see now. Yeah, AJ's husband, and I like that he embraced it. He's not like, oh no, it's like CM Punk's wife is like, no, I'm AJ's husband.
Right. Exactly.
And I will say, even back then, I don't know if Punk would have done that.
I don't know either. I don't know either. But Punk's opened himself up to a lot of different things. Obviously, as John Cena said, he is Mr. TKO now, wearing the suit. You know, he is more or less what John Cena was to WWE back then.
Yeah. But there's no denying that he's been a workhorse. He's been putting in
Yes.
that
Yes.
work because a lot of people speculate be like, oh, he's not gonna wrestle every week. He's just gonna wrestle at like the big shows. No, he's wrestling like almost every week, and I know a
Mhm.
lot of people were saying, oh no, he's not gonna be wrestling every week. They're gonna save him for like the big shows or if they have like a feud or program planned for him.
Exactly. And they've been utilizing all these guys as of late. I mean, Finn Balor, who would have thought that he would have been in a main event spot on Monday Night Raw for the world title? But there he was against CM Punk, and they had a great match. The match Punk had with AJ, another good match. He's been rolling them out, and so kudos CM Punk for getting his body holding up and having these really really good matches.
Yeah, and he made a statement that I thought was really cool when he talked to Finn Balor. He's like, I can't call myself in the best in the world unless I'm in the ring with the best.
Right. Exactly. But in the WWE title picture, totally different. We just had a fatal four-way to determine the number one contender for the WWE Championship.
Yep. At Saturday night's main event, which featured Trick Willie, Whoop That Trick, Damian Priest, former world champion, Randy Orton, 14-time world champion, and then Sami Zayn, Saudi Arabia's favorite son.
Exactly.
Sami
Uh,
Zayn, and I think most people knew what the outcome was. We
yeah.
said we're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be Sami. We're like, why
Match.
wouldn't it be
Yeah.
Sami? Especially because it's like you had said, it's in Saudi, and they have the storyline of Sami Zayn's never beaten Drew McIntyre,
Right.
and it's like, oh, it's in Saudi Arabia. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so it's more of like to build to that story and like a feel good moment because it's like, oh, he's in Saudi Arabia.
Right. Decent match. I thought Saturday night's main event was pretty good on the whole. I think it was one of the best ones that they've ever done since they brought it back. And so, a pretty decent Saturday night's main event. Obviously, Sami Zayn winning that fatal four way in a pretty good match to now challenge Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. I can only see it going one way. I think Drew McIntyre will retain. I don't think it's going to be the feel good story yet in
Yeah,
Saudi Arabia.
it'll be the things where he's very very close. He's gonna come very very close and then just fall short.
Right. Yep.
And then I think he gets the Cody Rhodes treatment next year, where
Yeah.
he finally finishes the story and wins the world title
I think so.
in Saudi Arabia at WrestleMania.
I think so too. Yeah, that would if he stays healthy, that's the only caveat there. Obviously, plans can change, but yeah, that's the way I see it going for next year. But for this year, the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, Sami is going to come up just a little short,
Yes,
and Drew will
but
retain.
yes, but it should be a great match. You have two of the very best in the ring today going at it.
Exactly. Yeah, I could see. Well, I could see that Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn opening the show.
Yeah, I honestly I see it too because obviously I think the men's rumble is obviously closing
Yeah,
the show.
yeah, but
I could see the WWE Championship opening or the Women's Rumble opening.
yeah,
But I think it'd be pretty cool to have the WWE Championship open because I feel like that would get the crowd hot early, and that's what you want. You want to start hot and you want to end hot.
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
And you know what they say: if you don't have the main event, you want to be the opening.
you want to be first. You want to be first.
You ain't first, you're last.
Just like yo ass. Then you had Jacob Fatu versus Cody Rhodes on Saturday Night Main Event, but it wasn't even a match.
It was
But
a fight,
it was a
but
fight for the
but
crowd.
but we liked it. Like you and
Yeah,
I were like, you know what? We're not mad at this. And I and I
yeah,
and I I made it clear to you. I think I was like, they probably did the shot because they don't want either to lose. They don't want Jacob to lose. They don't want Cody to lose. So it's
right.
like, what's the next best thing? It's like, well, you don't want to do a double DQ or double counter because then that's gonna piss off the fans. And I
Right.
feel like with them brawling and fighting actually ended up working to their advantage because the crowd loved it. They were into it.
Hmm.
They fought literally like all over the arena. They went into the crowd. They
Right.
went into like the production area, and then we saw Drew McIntyre get involved. So
Yeah. I mean, the promos between Jacob and Cody have been pretty good too, leading up. They've dug into some personal stuff.
yeah, it's like Jacob's time in prison.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I thought what they did here worked because not only well, it wasn't a match, but it went long, like long enough, just like a match.
Yeah, it went like what felt like 20 minutes.
Right. Maybe less than that, maybe like 10. But it worked, and it put some heat on their feud, and now people want to see them continue to wrestle, you know?
And because you have Drew involved, it has the potential of like, oh, is that what we see at WrestleMania? Is it Drew Cody Jacob for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania? So I feel like that this could, because Drew got involved,
Exactly.
it's to advance the story.
Exactly. Yep. So Drew McIntyre, he got involved there. And we'll see what happens with the WWE title picture. I can only imagine that these guys, Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes will be involved somehow going into WrestleMania, but we'll see.
Yeah, because they're both gonna be in the Rumble, and then I think one or both will be in the Elimination Chamber because we know, like the winners of the Royal Rumble get a championship opportunity at WrestleMania, and it's the same with the Elimination Chamber. So I feel like that's how it's gonna play out. Is one or both will be in
Right.
the chamber, and then one of them will win.
Right. Definitely. But we can talk about the Royal Rumble matches now. Let's start with the women's. Who do you think is going to be coming? Well, first, before the spoiler, who do you think comes out as number one?
See, yeah, that's a tough one because I feel like there could be a few, and I feel like number one is kind of like that workhorse spot now, that Iron Man woman spot now, because we have seen that over the last few years. I could see it being Liv Morgan. I could see it being Roxanne Perez.
Hmm.
But it depends if they want like a big name to start off.
I see Bianca Belair. She's been gone. I think they want her to get that full entrance, that crowd pop, and so I think
You
Bianca
think
Belair.
she's one?
Yeah,
I was gonna say I think she's 30, but I could see that. I'm not against it. I could see that.
Yeah, I just think because they want her to have that full entrance. She's been gone for a while. I think bring her back at that number one spot would
Yeah,
be
and we know obviously she can go, so it's not like,
yeah,
oh, can she go? No, she very well could go from number one all the way to the end. I mean, look, Rhea Ripley did it 2 years, like yeah, 3 years ago. She came in at number one and ended up being number 30, or ended up winning the whole thing at number one.
yeah, definitely. As far as my prediction, I'm gonna go with mommy. Mommy.
Mommy's always on top.
Exactly.
You think Rhea is number one, or are you saying that's who your winner
No,
is?
no, it's my winner.
Oh, Bianca's my winner.
Okay, okay,
I
okay.
say Bianca's my winner because one, like you said, she's been gone for a long time. What's a better way for her to come back and like, kind of shake the ring rust off than the Royal Rumble? And because you have that, you already have a feud with her locked up with Jade Cargill.
Right,
And I
exactly.
feel like that's the obvious route they want to go is Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill, and where better to do it than WrestleMania.
Uh,
So that's why I have her winning, especially because she won the Elimination Chamber last year, and I don't see her going back to back in the Chamber. So that's why she's my pick to win the Rumble, and she will become the second woman to win two Royal Rumble matches.
that's a very, very interesting pick. I forgot that she won the chamber last year. I was gonna say she could just win the chamber this year, but
Yeah. But
uh,
yeah, so I think both of us bring very good points. Like I don't disagree with what you say, Rhea. Like I definitely think Rhea has to be a favorite.
right,
So
absolutely. But for the men's, who's your number one?
like who comes in at number one?
Yeah,
Hmm. I feel like it could be someone from the division. I feel like you could have
I want to
a
say
Braun.
Logan Paul.
You could. I was gonna say I was gonna say you might have Austin Theory.
I think Logan Paul because Logan's a bigger name than Austin Theory, and you want that crowd pop, but like in a heel way. And Logan Paul could, I mean, he's not going to win the Rumble, but
Thank God.
I
Thank God.
mean, I would love to see Logan Paul win the Rumble. Don't get me wrong.
I will turn off the TV if that happens.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it so much. I would love it. Just for your reaction. Just for your reaction. But
Okay, but okay, so you say you have Logan Paul coming in at number one.
I do. And I think he
I
kind of just rides the
Yeah,
wave of the like 60 minutes throughout the match and then gets eliminated near the end.
because this is what I feel like they're gonna do because we've seen it before, like with the Nexus. They're all gonna come in together at some point. They're all gonna team up and they're gonna be taking everybody out.
Hmm.
And then you're gonna have like somebody come and in like the John Cena spot where like they all get taken out like one by one. Um,
Right.
And the very interesting thing, I'm not saying this is gonna happen. Again, this is a bold prediction, but it's like, they're all in the ring together, and then just wait for them to be eliminated. I could see either Roman being the one who eliminate them all,
Yeah.
or at least like most of them.
Yeah.
But I feel like what would be great for the story, and I'm not saying it's gonna happen given that his injury, but what if it's Seth? What if Seth's the one that comes out and
And Seth
and
did say
eliminates the Vision?
Seth did say on a recent show that he has not been cleared. He's not going to be there.
But we
Yeah.
know at the end. And did we really trust what Seth Rollins
I do
says?
not trust a single iota what Seth
No,
Rollins says.
no. Now, of course, like, oh, no, no. His injury is legit. His injury is real. Like, that's not a work. His injury is real.
Yeah,
He really
exactly.
did tear his rotator cuff. That happened. That's real.
Hmm.
But in terms of his recovery, it's like he says he's still a couple months off. Maybe they're like, no, no, you're cleared, but just don't tell anybody.
Yeah, I mean they could definitely be kayfabing all this, and so we'll see. We'll see. As far as my winner for the Royal Rumble, I mean it's gonna come down to either Braun Breaker or Roman Reigns, but I'm gonna go with my guy Roman Reigns. Acknowledge him, Ryan. Acknowledge him. Acknowledge him.
I'm going with Braun Breaker just because I feel like the Rumble is an opportunity to build a new star.
Mhm.
and they obviously see Braun Breaker as the future, and I think this would be like a good opportunity to like you know legitimize him as like the future. And just because I feel like we haven't seen a new Rumble winner in a while. Well, I mean, last year with Jay, but like in terms of like but like prior to last year, like been seeing a lot of repeat winners, like men that have won it before, women that have won it before. So I feel like this year would be great to have like, oh, we have back to back years of like a first time Rumble winner.
Yeah.
So my pick is Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I could see Braun Breaker going and winning it and then setting up his eventual rematch with CM Punk at WrestleMania.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
But I think this is going to be a good Rumble. It's a lot of star power.
A lot of star power. We'll see
So
what kind of surprises
and
come up
and
on Saturday.
and who knows? You might see one or both of us enter the Rumble match. You never know. So
And if John Cena comes out of retirement at number 30, Ryan's gonna wet his pants.
I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna be like, oh, there's your winner. Be like, there's your winner. You're the second ever person to win 3 Royal Rumbles.
Oh my gosh. Imagine. Imagine.
Well, what no, what did I say? Imagine he comes out, but not as John Cena, but he comes out as Peacemaker,
Yeah.
or he comes out as the Doctor.
No, man. The doctor's dead. Oh, no, the doctor's not dead because apparently the doctor's going to Harvard. He's doing advertisements for Harvard now. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, even though you can't see him, but
Exactly. Exactly. But
okay, so
any
that's
lasting
that's the
words?
Rumble. Yeah.
Any lasting words for today's podcast?
Well, let's do some brief because I know you're trying to implement it more. Let's do some brief AEW stuff. We just saw Tommaso Ciampa
Oh, that's
make
right. I was
his.
going to bring that up.
Yeah,
Yes.
we just saw Tommaso Ciampa make his AEW debut, and a lot of people are like,
I'm
wait,
surprised.
it's so fast? But it's like, yes, his contract expired. That's
Yeah.
why he was able to sign right away.
So the
Uh,
way it works is if you're released, you have to wait your 90 days.
90 days,
90
yes,
days.
or
But
sometimes less. It depends, but
yeah.
usually it's 90 days.
But if your contract runs out, you can sign the very next day.
Or you can sign pretty much the minute your
Minute.
contract's up.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
So
we saw Tommaso Ciampa
I mean,
make his
that's going to be
debut.
interesting because Tommaso Ciampa's at an age now where, I mean, he's not going to be looked upon as the youth of wrestling anymore.
Because he's in his 40s.
Yeah, he's in his probably mid 40s, and then he's also had some pretty extensive injuries, neck injury, neck fusion,
Yeah.
and
And
so
and again, this isn't a dig at Tommaso Ciampa. I'm just saying it's the usual formula in AEW. You get a debut, they're hyped up for a month, and then you don't see him again.
exactly.
So I'm saying like don't be surprised if we see Tommaso Ciampa in catering in like a month or two. Do I
Definitely
think
all
it's gonna
possible
happen?
because look at
I
look at
don't
the
want
track record.
I don't want it to because Ciampa is a really great wrestler, but just based off AEW's track record and their history, that's unfortunately that's what I see happening.
Right. You know what? There's a track record with all that. I mean, he wasn't doing much of anything this, last recent run in WWE besides, but he did, at the beginning of last year, he had these really great matches, the TLC match. I think those really good tag team matches with him and Gargano on SmackDown. And so he was definitely a fixture of that tag team division, but that was his ceiling in WWE.
Yeah, yeah, no, he definitely, he had some good moments, some bright spots. Obviously, nothing came close to his run in NXT, the black and gold era, but he was still featured prominently every week on TV, which not everybody can say that, oh, they get TV time every week. So but yeah, it's like you said, at best, it's like the most he was gonna do is like stuff with Johnny Gargano. Like he was never gonna be like WWE champion or like singles champ. It's like his ceiling was like you said, tag team with Johnny Gargano DIY.
And now it'll be interesting to see where they go with Johnny Gargano. I mean, does Gargano fall to the wayside now, or do they pick him up as a singles competitor? We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, especially now that we see him, do stuff with his with his wife Candice LeRae. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes into fruition. If maybe like, oh, like I want to see her more than just valet. Like I want to see her wrestle too. So like
Hmm.
it'd be interesting to see if they both like become like a team and they like wrestle and all that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, so that's some AEW news. Tommaso Ciampa made his AEW debut as the Psycho Killer.
Psycho Killer. Do, do, do. But all right, that's gonna wrap up today's Wrestling with Ryan and Mike's podcast. As you guys usually know, you guys know where to find us on all the social medias at Lace 'em Up Sports on Instagram, at Lace 'em Up Sports on X, on TikTok at Lace 'em Up Sports. You guys know to find where to find us. Hit like, subscribe, follow us, send us emails at laceemuptakes at gmail.com. Ryan will send you pictures of his nipples. I'm just joking. He won't do that. But make sure to follow us on all of our social medias. Again, look out for LA Sports Roundup podcast coming out soon. We're talking about all things Lakers, Rams, Dodgers, and all of LA
Oh
sports.
yeah, Mike's all because his Rams didn't make it. Well,
Exactly.
also be on the lookout for Saturday because we will be live streaming the Royal Rumble matches.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're gonna find that on YouTube and you're gonna find that
Yeah.
on TikTok as well.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. That'll be on Saturday. Remember, it's 11 a.m. if you're here in the West Coast.
Exactly. All right, you psycho
2
killer.
p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern if you're in the East Coast. So just remember the early start time, and to be on the lookout for us live streaming the Royal Rumble.
Exactly. But until then, you can't see us, but you can see me. You probably can't see Ryan.